Community managers cover disclosures number 2. Guys, the community managers just posted another cover disclosures where they try basically to keep us updated on some of the stuff that is being developed of the game and explain some stuff. So let's just hop right into it. Make sure to subscribe and thank you all the members and patrons, okay? So the first thing is the Foxtree missiles and extending the top BR. Of course, they explain a little bit on what they did the last week, with the 13.7 new BR and everything with that, with the rank 8s and stuff. So yeah, not gonna get too much into that, but they explain a little bit how they did it and why they did it a little bit, and they thank basically everyone who spent time leaving feedback of top tier, because of course it's a very complex thing. For the next event vehicles, they talk about how they are going to add, of course, the Alcyon. They already did even a video about, but the next one will be an aircraft and quite a high tier. And where they go with this is that they talk about what are the objectives with the additions of event vehicles. They have basically two types of vehicles over here. Interesting modifications of vehicles, historically significant examples of existing vehicles. That would be, the main two ones. But even vehicles that would give a good representation of what a high tier gameplay would be for a certain nation, right? So this would be, for example, the MatAWG CS4, right? That wasn't particularly interesting, but for players that don't have top tier friends, it might make them actually grind that tech tree because they can test that vehicle a bit more, right? But of course, interesting modifications of vehicles or historically significant examples are way more important in my opinion, and hopefully they get going with that. They talk about how it's kind of hard to actually go between this because they don't want to just do a copy paste, but they don't want to remove a vehicle that it's unique enough that it would be good for the tech tree at the same time. So it's a mix between those, right? But expect a high tier aircraft for the next event after the ship one. Then they go about what I think is one of the most important things about this post. Basically, I don't know why they added this image as a helicopter damage model, but still, basically they are updating the helicopter damage models by a lot. Apparently, it will have, first of all, a somewhat similar thing compared to what the internal modules of ground vehicles are. So you can expect multiple new internal modules like fire control systems, maul systems and stuff like that. And hopefully they add these for aircraft as well to have a more realistic damage model. The second thing is that they are changing how the impact of, the existing damage models are handled, basically, right? So they're making sure that the plan is basically to add a way of damaged models to affect the functionality of other modules, and our systems are all integrated, basically, right? So one-time massive explosive or fragmentation impact on the fuselage of the helicopter will likely cause a damage to the flight control and weapon systems at the same time, right? Even if the modules themselves do not exist or they're not hit, just because it's a massive hit, it will make sure that the flight controls are damaged to a certain extent, depending on the amount of heat, right? So more realistic and more integrated damage model, which is pretty good. They say how they fixed a little bit of the bugs that they had. For example, the Foxtrees and stuff, that they did a massive change on them today, with the derbies, with the M20s, everything like that. And basically they use this as an example to make sure that you guys go to the platform. I will leave the link in the description, and report the bugs, because sometimes people think, and I'm including myself on it, because sometimes I see a bug and it's so obvious, it's such an obvious bug that I'm not gonna waste my time, because it's so obvious, right? Gaijin probably knows about this bug no matter what, right? But the thing is, sometimes depending on the combination of hardware and software, the bug is only for you. It's only appearing for your specific type of hardware software combination, right? So if you do the bug report, if you see a bug report that it's somewhat similar to yours, at least go there on the platform and look for it. If you find it, click that you have the same problem and stuff, and look at the forum and stuff. And as well, if there is nothing there that it compares to your bug, create a bug report, because it really does help the game. And some of the bugs that we see here are normally fixed because of that, 90% of them. Because it might be obvious for you, but it might not for like another combination of hardware and software, as I was saying, right? The next one is that they talk about the RP bonuses for new nations. They are working on it. Again, I mean, it's kind of like, oh my god, you're still working on this? Yes, they are still working on it, and they say it's really, really hard to code it, but it's almost there, and they plan to, in the next several weeks, probably, you know, finish it up and test it out in a 7-day period to actually make sure it doesn't break anything else in the game. They even say how they actually tested something like this, but it completely broke the squadron RP for a day. So you know, it's problematic, right? They need to be sure that it's working properly and it's not breaking anything else. So yeah, new bonuses for new nations will be basically, if you get started in a new nation to grind, you will get bonuses depending on how many nations you already grinded and stuff. So it feels like a simple thing, but apparently it's very complex. Major update dev blog text reflection. They talk about how there were some mistakes and it can cause misleading and people just not understanding exactly what the dev blogs are going to be about and stuff. So for example, they might say that a certain missile will be for an aircraft and it will not be there for the actual game, and that will create a problem, right? So they are working on that as well, which is good. And this is probably the most fun thing about this post. It's not important, but it's pretty cool. They actually posted some stats of the game. So in this 1 month period that we had, that they check it basically, we had 127,000 nukes detonated. Look at this, it's a lot. So cheers for you guys that are playing so well, because I got like 2 nukes in my entire life in this game. Ground battles are, especially realistic at least, I don't know about arcade, but still. Number of nuke carriers shot down after dropping their nuke, 19,000, and 23,000 before they dropped the nuke. So poor those 23,000 people that were that close of dropping the nuke, right? Number of unguided rockets that hit planes, 270,000. That's crazy. Number of artillery, I mean, this was probably the craziest one. 12,000 people got hit in a plane with artillery. That like happened once in like 10 years of War Thunder that I played, 11 years that I played this game. This is really hard to actually, I mean, you can count last years because the ground battles and stuff, and whatever, but still, like all these years, and it happened like once for me. I saw it happen, and it didn't even happen to me, or I killed an aircraft. So this is very rare, and it appears to happen very, very much often. Number of large caliber weapon, any caliber above 130mm, including missiles that shot down planes and helicopter, 336,000. Including missiles, it's problematic. I don't know how many missiles are there that are larger than that, but still. So very interesting stats, and let me know in the comments what you think about this. And the last thing is that they are working on the personalization and customization of your profile on the list of statistics and stuff. So you can see some screenshots of how some of the little stuff will appear there for you to actually take a look and look for your friends and stuff. So very, very cool, guys. Not a major thing, but it is in the roadmap, and it makes sense to rework that. So yeah, guys, these are it. So some interesting things, some less interesting things, some things that we already knew. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about these changes and some of the other stuff, and what do you expect to be the next event aircraft that is so high tier that they even mention it. Let me know in the comments. I'm hoping for maybe an F-14 or something, Iranian, that would be cool. But yeah, I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye guys, see you.